Hi, I'm Adrianne. I'm one of the yoga teachers here at La Coralina Island House. I'll be guiding you through a slow flow vinyasa practice. You may want to have a block handy for your practice. We'll be visiting half moon and pyramid pose as well as revolved pyramid pose. So have yourself a block ready and we'll get started. So we'll come started in a kneeling position. So just coming to sit on your shins. You can place a block underneath your hips if you need a little bit of extra height. And just go ahead and settle yourself in, just letting your hips nestle into the bowl of your feet there. And so just taking the time to arrive on your mat into your practice. So just closing your eyes and just letting your hands fall wherever they'd like to land this morning. Palms up, palms down. If you'd like to find a mudra with your fingers, you can go ahead and do so. Just taking the time to arrive. And so we take the time to check in, noticing how your body is feeling as you start your practice. Noticing any tension, stress, injuries you may be nursing. And throughout your practice, can you find some softness, gentleness with yourself, sending the breath, the awareness, the attention to where you feel you need it most, modifying as you need to. And soften the shoulders away from the ears. Just finding a little more spaciousness in the shoulders. A little less tension. Softening the lines of your face, your jaw. And noticing your thoughts. Are they wandering? Are they settling into your practice present? And then noticing the breath. Just gradually increasing your inhale, deepening your inhale, lengthening your exhale. And bringing that breath in through the nose, and out through the nose. Just noticing what expands, what draws in, if the breath catches anywhere, or if it's fluid. We'll take a few more rounds of breath here, just taking the time to settle into your practice. Maybe you take the time to set an intention or a dedication, or simply just dedicating your practice to yourself. And then on your next inhale, go ahead, take a deep inhale as you sweep the arms up overhead, bringing your palms together to touch. And then as you exhale, just bring it all down into your heart center, slightly bowing the head. And then just gently blinking your eyes open from here. So from here, we'll just let the hands fall towards the sides. And we'll just take a few half neck rolls here. So sitting up nice and tall, shoulders away from the ears. Take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, drop that chin toward the chest. Take it nice and slow, pausing there. Inhaling to take that ear over toward the left side. And then over toward the right. So we'll just take a few rolls here. Back over toward the left. And then back over toward the right. Next time you come over toward the left, just let it pause there. So let your left ear fall toward your left shoulder. Left hand can reach up, taking the left hand toward the ear. And then option to keep that hand on your thigh. You can take it to your hip or just creep those fingertips out a little bit from that hip. So gentle pressure on the side of the neck here. Take one more inhale there. And then nice and slow, releasing the side pressure on the side of the head. Let your hand fall to the side. Let your chin fall toward the chest and then over toward the other side. So right ear comes toward the right shoulder. Right hand reaches up towards the sky, and we take our hand toward that left ear. Just let those fingertips creep away from your hip, stretching into the left side of the neck here. We'll take one more inhale. And then slowly releasing the side pressure on the side of the head, and then just gently rolling that neck down to, or chin down toward the chest, and then gently rolling that head up. So taking your hands towards your head, interlace your fingers. So gently here, lifting up through the head, opening through the chest, shoulders, let that head fall into the hands, supporting it there. One more inhale, and then gently rounding through the spine, slightly tucking the tailbone, let your chin fall to the chest. And so you can choose here how much pressure you take to the back of the head, just maybe rocking side to side. One more inhale. Gently releasing the hands toward the sides and then slowly rolling that head up. So we'll just start to warm up through the spine here. So let your hands come to your thighs. Take a deep inhale, lifting through the chest. A few rounds of seated cat-cow. And as you exhale, let your hands glide forward as you round through the spine, gliding the hands toward the knees, tucking the tailbone under. Inhale to lift back up, pulling that chest forward. Slight lift of the chin. And then exhaling to round. Let your hands glide forward. Few more rounds here. Inhaling to come forward. Let your hands glide towards your hips. And exhaling to round. Last one here. Inhaling to lift the chest forward. Squeezing the shoulder blades, lifting the chest. And then exhaling to round. Coming back to that nice neutral spine, opening up the side body. Left hand comes toward the side. Right arm reaches up. So finding the length of the right side of the body first. And then as you exhale, go ahead and take that side bend toward the left side. You can let your hips shift off of your heels here, letting your head relax. So we're looking maybe down toward that hand on the left side, reaching that right arm up overhead. Take one more inhale there, lengthening. Exhaling to deepen that side bend. And then nice and slow, right arm reaches up, landing it down, and then we shift our hips back toward the center. So taking the right fingertips outside of the right hip, inhale, left arm reaches up. And then as you exhale, go ahead and take that side bend over toward your right side. And you can go ahead and let those hips shift toward the left if you like. Letting that head fall toward the right side, maybe looking down toward that right hand. Take one more inhale there. And nice and slow, slowly bringing that left hand back up, landing it, and then shifting those hips back to center. And we come to tabletop position. So shifting onto your hands and your knees there. Gently making your way onto your hands and your knees, spreading through your hands. And we'll just add a little bit of a twist here. So take a deep inhale. We open up the left arm towards the sky. So left arm opens up, pause there. Take one more inhale, open up that left arm just a little wider, stretching into that shoulder. And then as you exhale, we're sending that left arm underneath the right for thread the needle. So palm facing up. Before you lower that shoulder, go ahead and lower the shoulder away from the ear and then touch it down. So left side of the head comes toward the mat, and you can come up on those fingertips to help deepen that twist. So breathing into the mid-back, the hips, and that right hip is going to want to stick out. You can go ahead and draw that back to square off the hips toward the back of your mat. Option to send that right arm long or keep the hand bent for support. One more inhale there. Gliding the right hand back toward the face, press into the right hand and then slowly pressing up and lifting that twist. So left arm reaches back up towards the sky just to counter that twist. And then the left hand lands back down, right side. Inhale, the right arm reaches up, opening up towards the sky. Stay there. One more inhale, we open just a little wider, opening up through that chest. And then sending that right arm underneath the left. Before you lower that shoulder, move the shoulder away from the ear and then set it down. So that left hip is going to want to stick out. Can you draw it back to square it off? And then the option to keep the left hand for support, or you can creep it forward. Either staying up on the fingertips or keep that hand flat. It's up to you. Breathing into your back. Breathing into your twist. One more inhale there. And fully exhale. And then nice and slow, gliding that left hand back toward the face. Press into the left hand, untuck the right. So gently untwisting. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. And then we set it back down. So coming into a little bit of crunch here. So starting on the left side, so staying in that tabletop position, go ahead and extend through that left leg. Keeping the right toes tucked under, extend through that left leg, squaring off the hip. Don't let that left hip lift. Draw that belly in slightly. Take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, round through the spine, as you pull that knee in toward the chest, tucking it in nice and tight. Inhale to extend it, keep the hips nice and level. And then exhaling to draw that knee in toward the chest for that crunch. Inhale to extend. Exhaling to crunch. Inhaling to extend. Exhaling to crunch. One last one. Inhaling to extend it. Exhale, we crunch. We hold this crunch in, drawing the belly in toward the spine to pull that knee up toward the chest. One more inhale here. Hold for that exhale. And then go ahead, inhale, extend it there. Touch the toes down. So coming into downward facing dog, keeping the right knee bent, left leg straight, lengthening through the back of the leg. So just pausing in that downward facing dog position. Right knee bent, left knee straight, or left leg straight. One more inhale there. And then slowly shifting it back onto your tabletop position. Other side. Crunching on the right side. So go ahead, planting down through the hands, pressing away from the mat. Go ahead, extend through that right leg, pausing there. So deep inhale, extending, and then exhale, slight draw in of the belly, drawing the knee in toward the chest as we round. Inhale to extend. Exhale to crunch it in. Inhale to extend it. Exhale to crunch it in. Inhale to extend. Exhale to crunch. Last one, this one we hold. Inhale to extend it. Exhale to crunch it in. We hold that crunch in toward the chest, drawing that belly up and in. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. Inhale to extend it. Hold there. Lower the toes toward the mat, keeping the left knee bent, lifting up into that downward facing dog position. Right leg stays straight, left knee bends. Pausing there, opening through the left side. Or the right side, the right back of the leg. One more inhale there. And we find full downward facing dog. So go ahead and walk it out, pedaling out your feet, walking out your dog, finding any movement you would like there. And then when you're ready, finding stillness in your downward facing dog. Spreading through the hands, knees can always be bent, heels can always stay lifted. And then when you're ready, looking forward to the front of your mat, bend your knees, traveling to the front of your mat. So walking your hands forward toward, or your feet forward towards your hands. Once you get there, take a halfway lift on your inhale, and then fold it forward on your exhale, staying in that fold there. So bending into the knees as much as you need to here, and then you can go ahead and grab onto opposite elbows here. You can find a little bit of movement or stillness, whatever feels good to you. Maybe swaying side to side. Finding a little bit of movement, maybe a gentle bounce up and down. Maybe shaking your head, yes, shaking your head, no, whatever feels good to you. And then go ahead, let your head be super heavy, arms be super heavy. And then from here we start to roll up. So bending into the knees, stacking each vertebrae on top of each vertebrae, gently rolling up to full standing once you get to the top. Rolling the shoulders back and down, lifting through the chest, palms facing forward, landing in Tadasana, mountain pose. Grounding down through your feet. Slight draw in of the belly, arriving to your standing position. So pressing all four corners of the feet into the mat as you lift through your toes, and then lowering them down one by one. Just a half sun salutation here to start. Take a deep inhale, reach the arms up. And then as you exhale, softly bend in the knees. As you fold it forward, take your time here. Halfway lift on your inhale. And then we fold it back on the exhale. From here, we rise up, sweep your arms up overhead, reaching them nice and long and tall, growing tall as you reach up. And then hands through heart center, shoulders away from the ears as you release the hands to the sides. Full sun salutation, a just one. Inhale, reaching the arms up, and then exhaling to fold it forward. Halfway lift on your inhale. Bend your knees, plant your hands, and we step back into plank. Option to drop the knees here, and we'll lower all the way down to the mat, hugging those elbows in. Inhaling into cobra, peel the chest forward as you lift. And then moving the chest forward as you lower, tucking your toes, downward facing dog, hips towards the sky, staying there. Deep inhale. Exhaling fully. One more deep inhale. Exhaling fully, looking forward, bend your knees, traveling to the front of your mat, walking your feet or jumping, landing softly if you jump. Halfway lift your inhale. Fold it forward on your exhale. rising up when you're ready, sweeping your arms up. You can come up with a flat back or you can roll. Hands reaching up towards the sky, and then bringing your hands to heart center, releasing them down towards your sides, just feeling that gentle warmth we're creating. And we'll take a sun salutation B variation here, inhaling, reaching the arms up as you lift, and then bending into the knees, sitting back into your chair. Slight tuck of that tailbone, lifting into the toes. One more inhale there, we hold, and then slowly folding it forward on your exhale, halfway lift. Bend your knees, plant your hands, we step back into plank, and then we lower down. Your choice to drop the knees. You can take it all the way to the mat, lifting into cobra or upward dog if you're ready for it. And then lowering your chest, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. So we start on the left side. Inhale, left leg reaches up towards the sky. And we step that left foot forward, lowering the right knee, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Inhale to reach up as you lift. And then exhaling, drawing that belly in, turning on that back leg as you sink it in. One more inhale, we hold. Then both hands come toward the mat. You can use blocks if you would like, straightening out through that left leg. Ardha Hanumanasana, half split, toes pull up towards you. Inhale to pull the chest forward, lengthening through the spine. And then if you'd like, exhaling to deepen that fold. Pulling those toes up, flexing through that front foot. One more inhale. And then slowly rebending that front knee, walking the hands forward, pick up the right knee, we step back into plank. And then we lower down for that chaturanga, that yogi push-up, upward dog or cobra, it's up to you. The downward facing dog when you're ready. And right side, inhale, the right leg reaches up. And then we step that right foot forward, back for that low lunge, Anjaneyasana, lower the left knee. Inhaling to lift, reaching the arms up. And then settling into that low lunge, hands reach up towards the sky, spreading through those fingers. One more inhale there. Both hands come toward the mat, half split, straightening out through that right leg, pulling those toes towards you. Hands can be on blocks here, inhaling to lift it forward, lengthening through the spine, and exhaling to deepen if you have that space. Again, hands can be on blocks if you need a little extra height. One more inhale. And then slowly rebending the knee, walking your hands forward, pick up the left knee, step the right foot back, and we move through that vinyasa, so lowering down for that chaturanga, upward dog or cobra, downward facing dog when you're ready. Staying there, inhaling deeply and exhaling fully. 2 more rounds of breath. Here we hold, inhaling deeply. And sigh it out a little bit if you need to. One more deep inhale. Fully exhale. When you're ready, come up onto your toes, looking forward, bend your knees, traveling to the front of your mat. Take a halfway lift, your inhale, folding it forward on your exhale. From here, we rise up, so sweeping your arms up overhead, grow nice and long, and hands through heart center. Release into your sides, just standing at the top of your mat, feeling that warmth. A little bit of fire from those sun salutations, reconnecting your feet to the mat here, just standing tall. And then when you're ready, take a deep inhale, reaching the arms up, we lift, exhaling to fold it forward. Halfway lift on your inhale. We step the right foot back for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. So grounding down through that back foot, toes pointing toward the top corner of the mat. When you're ready, inhaling to lift. And then exhale, we settle into that Warrior 1 position. So drawing that right hip forward, left hip back, squaring off your hips as best as you can. Hands are reaching up towards the sky, and we're taking it into a little bit of a flow pyramid pose variation. So take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, straighten that left leg. As you hinge forward just the halfway, hands reach back behind you, grounding down through that right foot. Inhaling to rebend back into Warrior 1, we lift. And then exhaling to re-straighten that left leg as we hinge it forward. One more time, inhale into Warrior 1. And we take that last little pyramid pose variation flow, hinging from the hips. One more inhale, we come forward into Warrior 1. And both hands come behind your back, interlace your fingers, squeeze and lift your shoulder blades. Chest reaches up towards the sky. Now you have the option to stay here Or if you'd like to take a humble warrior, you can go ahead, deep inhale, lifting through the chest, and then humbling that warrior. So left shoulder comes toward that inner thigh. Any amount that you like. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you take it a little bit deeper. Maybe you stay up with just the arms interlaced or hands interlaced. Up to you. Take one more inhale there. And to lift out of this pose, slowly bring your hands back towards your hips, pressing into that back foot to slowly lift it back up. Take one more inhale here as you lift, full inhale, both hands reach up towards the sky. We straighten out through that left leg, and you may want to step that right foot in a little bit here. Bring your hands to your hips. We find pyramid pose, so squaring off those hips toward the front of the mat. Take a deep inhale, softly bend into that left knee, hinging forward toward that front leg. So keeping that nice long spine. Hips moving back, so one hip's going to want to stick out. Can you square them off toward the back of the mat? Once you've lowered to where you'd like to be, you can hold or option to release the hands to the mat. So keeping that nice long spine, and then you can go ahead and fold over that front leg if you would like. Take one more inhale, and then from here, option to take a block if you have it, or a book, whatever you need, coming into revolved pyramid pose or revolved triangle. So pull the chest forward first, pressing into that mat, so lifting through that chest, soft bend in that front leg, and then from here draw that belly in slightly, squaring off your hips, so really locking them into towards the back of the mat, and then from here starting to rotate through the torso first, and then opening up that left arm toward the sky. So taking that revolved triangle pose, the left hip is going to want to stick out a little bit, so drawing it back. One more inhale, we hold in revolved pyramid. And then looking back toward that front foot, we're taking it into half moon. So if you'd like to use your block, go ahead and place it in front of that left foot and over to the side a little bit, leaning into that left foot. So grounding down through that left foot, flexing into the right foot as you open up, lifting up that right leg, finding your half moon. So right arm reaches up towards the sky, looking down at that front foot, finding that nice point of focus, that soft gaze, that drishti. Less balance, you can look up toward that hand. More balance, looking down toward that left. But the more you flex and engage into that lifted leg, lighter that leg feels. We'll take one more inhale there. And then nice and slow, we're landing in a chair pose. So looking toward the left hand, land the right foot beside the left. Sweep both hands up towards the sky as you lift, tuck the bum. Exhaling to settle in. Take one more inhale there, folding it forward as you exhale. Halfway lift on your inhale. Bend your knees, plant your hands. We step back into plank. And we lower down for that chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra, it's up to you. Downward facing dog when you're ready. Staying there, deep inhale. And exhaling fully. When you're ready, bend your knees, look forward, hop, step, or jump, landing softly at the front of your mat. Take a halfway lift on your inhale. Folding it forward on your exhale. From here, right side, warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. So inhaling to lift, grounding down through the right foot, stepping the left foot back, toes pointing toward the top corner of the mat. When you're ready, inhaling to lift up, and then exhaling to settle. Reaching those fingers up towards the sky, squaring off that left hip as best you can toward the front. And we take that little pyramid pose variation flow. So take a deep inhale as you straighten out the right leg, and then we hinge it forward, reaching the hands back behind you. Inhaling to rebend back into warrior one, and then taking that flow into that pyramid pose variation, straightening out through that front leg. One more time, inhaling to lift into that warrior one, and then hinging it forward, pyramid pose variation. Last time, inhale, we lift into warrior one. Once you land it, both hands come behind your low back. Interlace and squeeze the shoulder blades as you lift. Now you have the option to stay here, or if you'd like to take that humble warrior pose, slight drawing of the belly, grounding down through that left foot. Right shoulder moves toward that inner thigh. Any amount that you would like, you can fold. Hands can reach up toward the sky. Folding it into that humble warrior pose, any amount. You don't have to take it this low. You can choose to stay up. One more inhale. To come out of this pose, slowly lowering the hands toward the hips, pressing into that back foot as you slowly rise back up into that warrior one position. Both hands reach up towards the sky. And then we're taking it into pyramid pose. So hands toward the hips as you straighten that front leg, walking that left foot in a little bit here. So squaring off those hips. Take a deep inhale, lifting through the chest, hinging from the hips, or hinging from the waist. Hips move back as we fold it forward over that front leg. Soft bend in the knees. Option here to lower the hands toward blocks or toward the mat. Take an inhale. Exhaling to deepen that pyramid pose or stay lifted. And we're taking it into revolved pyramid. So taking your hand to a block, keeping it down, grounded on the mat, up to you. So take a deep inhale, squaring off your hips. Start to turn the torso, the belly button toward the side first, and then opening up that right arm towards the sky. So one hip's gonna wanna stick out. Can you draw them both back toward the back of the mat? One more inhale there. Looking down toward that right foot. Half moon is where we're landing. So using your block if you need to, taking it forward in front of that foot and over toward the side makes it a little bit easier. Grounding down through that right leg, opening up through that left hip. Left arm reaches up towards the sky, grounding down through that right foot, stacking your left hip on top of the right. The more you can engage through that lifted leg, lighter it feels. One more inhale there. And then looking down toward that right foot, and we land in that chair pose. So landing the left foot down beside the right, inhaling to sweep it up, and then exhaling to fold it forward. From here, we rise up, sweeping your arms up overhead. Hands reach up nice and tall. Inhale, hands through heart center, release into the sides. Taking a little break there, one deep inhale. Exhaling fully. One more deep inhale. Exhaling fully. When you're ready, we inhale to reach the arms up, lift and lengthen. We find chair pose when you're ready, bending into the knees, slight tuck of that tailbone, weight into the heels. From here, landing on the left foot, we inhale to lift, grounding down through the left, drawing the right knee in toward the chest. Adding a little bit of balance here, deep inhale. And then we find warrior three. So bring your hands to your heart center, kick your foot up towards your glute, hinging forward from the hips, landing in that warrior three position. Softly bend into the knee, but root down through the foot. One more inhale, and we land in an arrowhead lunge. So take a big step back with the right foot, landing it back, heel lifted, hands reach up towards the sky. Or sorry, to behind your left foot, right foot. Take one more inhale there. And then we sweep the arms up to land in that crescent lunge. Both hands reach up. Deep inhale here, and we take a little twist. So keep the hands lifted first, and then turning the chest toward the left side. Once you find the depth of your twist, go ahead and open up through the hands, taking them into a nice big T. Taking one more inhale there, keeping the hands into a T. We rotate the body forward back to the front of the mat, crescent lunge, and then we open up into warrior two. So spinning open on that right foot, settling in to that warrior two position, left hand reaching forward, right hand reaching back, grounding down through that back foot. And from here, we take it into a little bit of a flow. Inhale to lift the left palm towards the sky, exhaling to settle, to reverse your warrior. From here, we take a big circle with the left hand to reach it toward the left elbow. Right arm reaches up overhead. And then we lift back up into that warrior two, reverse warrior here. Big circle forward toward the left knee, right arm reaches up overhead, opening up top shoulder. One last time, inhaling, lifting up into warrior two. Take it into reverse. Big circle forward with the left arm. We land in that extended side angle and we hold here. So gently lifting out of that left shoulder. Take one more inhale. And then slowly we lift up into that warrior two position, straightening out through that front leg. Triangle pose, maybe walking that foot in a tiny amount. And then from here, hinging forward from the hips, finding your depth of your hinge, and then landing that left hand toward the thigh, toward the ankle, toward a block. Right hand reaches up towards the sky. You can keep looking down at the foot. You can look up toward the hand, or you can keep that neck neutral. One more inhale there. And then rebend that left knee, land both hands down toward the mat, stepping back into plank. And then we lower down for that chaturanga, upward dog or cobra, downward facing dog when you're ready. Landing there, deep inhale, exhaling fully, looking forward, bend your knees, traveling to the front of your mat. Take a halfway lift on your inhale, folding it forward on your exhale. Chair pose, bend your knees, send the hips back, lifting up through the hands, landing there. Slight tuck of that tailbone, and then we ground down through the right foot as we inhale to lift. Left arm or left knee comes up towards the chest. Bring your hands to your heart center. We find warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3, hinging from the hips, sending that left leg behind you, squaring off those hips. Don't let that left hip open. One more inhale there. And then we land in that arrowhead lunge, landing left foot back, hands reach back behind you, nice 45-degree angle roughly with the body. Take one more inhale, we lift up into that crescent lunge. Exhaling to settle, we find that twist. So keeping the hands lifted first, deep inhale. Turn the torso towards your right. Once you find your full rotation, go ahead and open up through the hands. One more inhale there. And then we untwist. So keeping the hands into a T, slowly twisting back. And then we slowly open up into warrior 2, adjusting your feet, grounding down through that left foot. Fingertips reaching forward, left fingertips reaching back. And then from here, we take it into reverse. So right hand reaches up. And then we take that right hand up overhead and we take that flow. So deep inhale and then take a big circle with the right hand toward right elbow toward the right hand. We peel open through the left. Inhaling to come back into that warrior 2 and then take it into reverse. Big circle over with the right. Left arm peels open. One last time, lifting up into that warrior 2. Take it into reverse. Big circle with the right. Peel open through the left and we land there in that extended side angle pose. One more inhale, we hold. And then lifting back up into that warrior 2 position, straightening out through that right leg, maybe walking that left foot in a tiny amount, triangle pose here. So reaching forward with that right hand, hips moving back, right hand comes toward that right foot, thigh, ankle, block, left arm reaches up towards the sky. One more inhale there. Looking down toward that right foot, rebend the knee, land both hands, stepping back into plank. Lowering down for that chaturanga, last vinyasa. Upward dog or cobra. Downward facing dog, hips towards the sky. Deep inhale there. And fully exhale. And then when you're ready, shifting it forward, coming into child's pose, lowering the knees toward the mat. Big toes together to touch. Settling your hips in toward the ball of your feet, just landing in that child's pose, releasing into the low back. Let your head fall toward the mat. Settling in, breathing deep. We'll take one more inhale there. And then nice and slowly walking yourself back up, and we make our way onto our backs. So just shifting it forward, shifting onto your hips, gently making your way onto your back. However you get there is perfectly fine. So once you get onto your back, go ahead and then bring your knees in toward your chest, giving yourself a nice big hug. Maybe rocking side to side here. And then when you're ready, we take happy baby pose. So bending your knees, take your knees out towards your armpits and sending your feet up towards the sky. So grounding down through your hips, either grabbing onto the back of the legs, the ankles, or if you can reach the outside of your feet, you can go ahead and do so. Just letting your shoulders release, low back. And you can find stillness here, or you can rock side to side. It's up to you. And then when you're ready, drawing both knees back in toward the center. So bring your feet towards your glutes first and let your knees come together, hugging them in nice and tight. And we find reclined figure 4. So grounding down through the right foot, flex into the left, cross that left ankle over top of the right. So just taking the hand toward the thigh just to help open up through that left leg first, flexing into that foot. And then from here, drawing both knees in toward the chest, so grabbing onto the back of the leg on the right side. You can, of course, stay with the right foot on the mat. And then from here, go ahead and straighten out through that right leg if you have it lifted. And you can go ahead and point and flex that right foot, taking some circles with the ankle. One more inhale there, drawing that hip a little closer toward the mat. And then bending into the right knee, lowering it back toward the mat, crossing that left knee over toward the right side just a little bit more. You can take your hands into a cactus or a T, shift the hips over toward your left side, and then go ahead. We find eagle twist. So both legs fall toward your right. And then you can gaze over towards your left. If this twist doesn't work for you, you can adjust however you need to find one that works. Take one more inhale there, spending as much time in any of these postures that you need before you move. And slowly bringing that gaze back up first, and then gently untwisting. Uncross your legs, recenter the hips on the mat, and then hug both knees back in towards the chest, hugging them in nice and tight. And then when you're ready, we lower down through the left foot, hugging the right knee in toward the chest, flexing into the right foot. We find figure four, crossing the right ankle over top of the left, and then just gently opening up through that right thigh. You can stay here if you would like, or you can go ahead and draw those knees in toward the chest. And then option to straighten out through that left leg. And then finding some movement there if you would like, point and flex, some circles. One more inhale there, spending as much time as you need to here, drawing that leg in toward the chest just a tiny bit more, then bending into the left knee, lowering it down, crossing right knee over top of the left. Just pop your hips over toward the right a little bit more. Hands can be cactus or T, finding eagle twist here. Option to gaze over that shoulder, the opposite shoulder. Option to adjust your twist however you need. And again, always spending as much time in any of these postures as you need to before you move on to the next. And then when you're ready, slowly bringing your gaze up first, untwisting. Gently bring your legs back up, uncross the legs, recenter your hips on the mat, and then go ahead, send your legs long, send your arms long. Take a nice big stretch there, finding any last little bit of movement you need. And then go ahead and settle yourself in for Shavasana. So letting your hands fall towards the sides or taking any variation of Shavasana that you would like. If you are on your back in that traditional position, go ahead and lift the left shoulder, tucking the left shoulder blade underneath, and then lowering it back down. We do the same thing on the other side, lifting up through the right shoulder, tucking right shoulder blade underneath, and then settling it back in. So landing in your Shavasana position for today. And you can spend as much time here as you would like. Even as I start to move, if you're not ready, spend as much time, a little longer, if you would like. Just settling in to stillness, relaxing all those creases in your forehead, the space between your eyebrows, your jaw, letting your eyes be heavy in their sockets, and your tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Gentle rise and fall of your belly as you breathe, and finding stillness in your fingers, your toes, your wrists, and your ankles. Getting out any last little bit of movement, fidgets, you need adjustments before settling into complete stillness and peace. And if any thoughts creep in, just simply acknowledge, let them go, send them on their way with the same ease as your breath, coming back to them a little bit later if you still need to. So settling in for the last few moments of our practice, but again, always taking as much time as you need here. spending as much time here as you need. No need to move just yet. I will gently start to make my way out of Shavasana, but always taking your time. So gently bringing some movement back to your body if you're ready to move, or just staying in that stillness. Maybe wiggling the fingers, the toes, the ankles, the wrists, maybe taking a big stretch, reaching up overhead. And then when you're ready, just rolling onto one side, whichever side is your favorite, landing in that fetal position. Just pausing there for a round of breath or two. And then when you're ready, gently pressing your way up to a comfortable seated position. Sukhasana at the front of your mat, gently making your way in, settling yourself in, and just noticing how your body's feeling now than when you started. Shoulders away from the ears. Take a deep inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Bring those palms together to touch, and then bring it all into your heart center as you exhale, slight bow of the head here. Thank you for practicing with me. May you have peace in your mind, love, peace, kindness in your heart. Namaste.